Hey, Steven, we got to figure out an intro to the podcast.
That works.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to another episode of the No Fluff MSP Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Taher Hamid. Got my co-host here.
Stephen Badorf, welcome back.
Yep. All right. We've got big news. I mean, it's big news to us. You that's listening may not care at all, or you may care a lot. I'm not really sure.
It's a toss-up,
yeah. It's definitely big news, and that is that we are officially going to be leaving Alltek Services.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, I 100% honestly did not think this would happen. I did not think I would ever get to the point where we would actually be exiting and leaving Alltek. I've been here almost 8 years now, and I love Alltek, and I love Tom. He's taught me, and Alltek has taught me everything I know. And Steven, this was your first real job,
Yep.
right?
Mm.
So it's like the impact Alltek has had on us, and definitely me, has been immense. So the fact that I'm at the point where we're leaving, it's hard to fathom almost. I just didn't think it was going to happen, but I think it's just at the point where it needs to happen because, one, membership growth is very healthy. I mean, we're at 275 members if you include Scout Plus, something like that.
Yep, that's correct.
So, I mean, that's a significant number of people that depend on us. We went from having one MSP depending on us to kind of hundreds that are looking to us for guidance. I mean, we're not the only people they're looking to for guidance, but we want to provide the best guidance and the most attention possible to all these members. So, I've been talking to Tom, and I was like, look, I think this needs my full-time attention. And he agreed. I would not have left if Tom wasn't like, I believe in you, I believe in this, go for it. If that was not the case, I wouldn't be leaving. When I do something, I really like to do it well. I know Steven's the same way, just because I've seen the quality of work he provides. And, at Alltek, some of my key accounts, I've been kind of dropping the ball. There's been a few things that I just have not done to the level of expectation I have for myself on the Alltek side. And then on the MSP camp side, I have not been able to get the deliverables that I have in the vision as quickly as I want to, as quickly as we can as a team. And so instead of doing two things at 80%, we're just taking the leap.
Yeah, full steam ahead.
Yeah. Full steam ahead. And I've been training Colin, the account manager who was on a previous episode, just on taking over my key accounts and also closing new business. So he is the account manager of Alltek, and he himself has closed 7 new clients this year. They started small. I would give him smaller leads. He got a $700 a month one. He got a $1,200 a month one. And then last month he closed a $4,000 a month deal. I'm like, you're ready. You're ready to be the business development person. It's going to take you time to get to the point where I'm at, but that's just because of how much experience I have. It's not because I'm better than you. It's just how many more years I've been in this. And we've hired an account manager who's just awesome. She had 10 years experience somewhere else. She's kind of overqualified, but she just loves our culture. She specifically cited our social media. And that's funny. Good job, Maddie. You helped us recruit.
Maddie hired her.
Yeah. Yes. So, she just was excited about the culture and the company. And so she's coming on under Colin. She's going to take a lot of his administrative duties off so he can do key accounts and business development like I was. So this is going to free up 15 hours a week just for me. And even in time from, even some time for Steven and Maddie as well. Would you agree with that? It's going to free up some of your time too a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest part I'm looking forward to is just having us all 100% in on the MSP camp stuff, so we just keep the wheels turning.
Yeah.
Especially with how it's kind of moving where Alltek's becoming our client, and we're still doing a ton of marketing for them. And honestly, we'll probably be doing more because you won't be as bogged down with some of the sales account pieces. We'll be able to focus completely on the marketing. So I think it's just important to have that mindset switch. We are a marketing company for MSP Camp. MSP Camp is a marketing company that's serving MSPs who are our members. And I mean, we're completely tuned in. We know what we want to do. I mean, we have so many ideas for campaigns, so many things that are moving in the background all the time. So having it all completely on our plate.
100%. It's a terrible thing when I get a lead for Alltek and I'm bummed out about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a good thing because I know, okay, now I got to go run the sales meetings. I have to go be involved in the onboarding. It's going to take hours
Kinda
away from what we're
too,
currently
yeah.
building. That's the MRR growth of MSP Camp. It's not as good as Alltek, but it's pretty damn close. And we're a tiny company. So I'm like, okay, this is where the opportunity is. Like, this is where we need to head. So anyway, it's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. But with Steven and Maddie and just the amazing members we have and the feedback we're getting, it's like, okay, I think we're ready for this. And if you're listening to this, I hope you feel the same way. If you've listened this far, you're somebody that's actually engaged with us and MSP Camp, so we appreciate you a lot and giving us the courage to do this. So in addition to kind of announcing that we're leaving Alltek, there's a couple other points that we wanted to hit on just from a why do you care, why should you care, perspective. We've been putting a lot of money into the website redo, which we've talked about quite a few times, but the initial launch of the website is going to be this month in December. And then we've already paid for the gamification, scorecard, forum, community piece of it, which is coming Q1 of 2024. And that is where just the launch this month is going to make the site.
We've literally bought into the website, like,
oh my
literally
God.
and figuratively, yeah.
Oh my God. It's going to make it so much better. And then like Q1, we have the scorecards, the peer group gamification, all of the things that are going to keep people not only accountable, but excited about growth built into the site. It's really going to take us to the next level. But anyway, once that second portion is done and paid for, now we're going to have the budget to actually bring on another full-time person. And what we have slated for this person is primarily that membership success role that's going to help members with actually execution on campaigns and content and strategy and everything else. We're going to get someone with a lot of experience. But they're also going to be managing something we've been talking about a long time and something that we are just super excited to launch, and that's the peer groups. You've heard me on this podcast. You've heard Steven, all of us on the podcast, talking about how powerful peer groups are.
From seeing it firsthand, yeah.
Yes. And when we were about to start the podcast, we're like, does the world need another podcast, right? That's literally like, what should we even do this?
Yeah, I remember sitting around and we were like, is this stupid? Are we dumb?
Are we dumb? And I'm so glad we put that voice aside and did it anyway, because the feedback we're getting on this, good and constructive, has made us better, and we feel like we've really been helping the community. I know there's a million peer groups. Trust me, I'm in the MSP space. I get it. There's a ton of peer groups, but I know we can offer something unique specifically for growth peer groups, because that's what I was involved in, a peer group that was focused on growth.
Specifically focused. That's the biggest thing, yeah.
Yes. And that's why I think this is going to be so important. And that person that we bring on is going to be managing not only membership success, but managing those peer groups. And as you know, that takes a lot of time, scheduling the meetings, whatever, the frequency we're going to do it, managing the competitions that we're going to have between competing peer groups that want to opt into that, managing the scorecards and how to get people to update them to where they show up on the leaderboards correctly and keep people accountable, the gamification aspect of the website, all these exciting things we're implementing. Someone is going to need to run that, right? I don't want to free up my time from Alltek only for it to bog me down in this stuff, right? We're going to set a solid vision, priorities for it, but we have to get someone plugged into that role or it's going to be watered down.
Yep.
And so that's why that's such an important initiative. And we already have the budget. As soon as the website's done, boom, we're plugging it in. Anything on any of that, Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, that's the most important part. We have a clear vision of what we want to do, but we need to stay focused on each of our roles. Me, Maddie, you, we all just need to be zoned in, you're bringing us ideas and creating content. Maddie's running different parts of social media, things like that. It's all kind of a well-oiled machine that fits together. And if we add in that separate aspect and we all were spending 15% of our time, even 10% of our time a week on that section, it would cause some significant damage to our roles currently that's helping this thing work so well so far.
Completely agree.
And I'm sure we'll be able to find the right fit too. Because even with the website, we found our right fit, building it there. Super excited about what we put into it and what he's creating. Yeah. And you can always find the right fit because we know exactly what we're looking for in somebody to join our team.
100%. Another reason we're doing this is we need more time to think about excellent content, right? Like, could we pump out a campaign a week? Yeah, we definitely could. But that's not what we're aiming to do. We want only quality. I want everything on the site when someone sees it, they go, this is great. I don't want any filler shit at all. And I feel like we've stuck to that. And that's why we're not releasing things every day, right? Although at this point, we are releasing something every week at least. And we also want to build out the Scout Plus membership more without sacrificing anything from the locked counties, which has already been the case, which is why Scout Plus is a slow grow. So to be able to do that, we need more time for content. Really thinking of what type of content is best going to engage the prospect and convert them. Not content that just is filler to get on social media. What's the content that's going to speak to our target market? And that takes time.
Yeah, like not rehashing pain points that we have already hit, but hitting them in a new direction sort of thing. I mean,
exactly.
Thinking of, here's a direct mail piece. We have one in the past for, like, let's say the cybersecurity one, like network typology. Like, that one's great.
Yes.
How do we reflect this same sort of idea in a completely inventive way, like in a new format? And I think we've really put that thinking cap on recently. And with more time freed up, like, we really can't come up with some great stuff. We already have come up with some great stuff.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on.
It's fun. I mean, it's good. I really like, it's because it's such a big move, moving away from Alltek, but it's also just thinking about it, like, we've kind of created our ideal job, like with marketing and pieces like that. So being able to give ourselves the capabilities to create content that we're proud of and that people like to use and actually want to implement, that's going to directly correlate to their growth. Like, that's it.
That doesn't get
what we're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of preachy, but that's how I feel.
Dude, no, that's spot on. And then 2 other things, real quick. One, thank you for listening this far. We appreciate it. We appreciate you supporting us either through listening to this podcast, reviewing it, being a member, whatever. If you're listening to this, you're supporting us, and thank you. We're getting a new office space. We're actually moving out. I mean, in Alltek, we already have a kind of a separate office within Alltek, but the account managers are here too. So we're actually moving to a dedicated space. And the reason that's important for you, for listening, we're not just talking about how, we're moving to a new space. It's exciting.
It's so cool, yeah.
It's that now we're going to have a dedicated studio. And that's going to help these live action videos, which we've been kind of slacking on, come out even quicker. And then the tech tips we've been doing well on, we're going to increase production tech tips. Because now, I love the way Steven said it. He said, it's kind of been a do-it-yourself setup right now. It's a DIY.
Working with what we have sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we got like a white wall we record on with, decent equipment. But like, we're taking that to the next level because we're going to have a dedicated space for it now outside of our offices. So super duper excited about that.
Could I hide on real quick too? Because I think another benefit of it, just like in my mind too, is like when you have a dedicated space, like this is the podcast room, this is like the tech tip room, the video recording room, like in my mind, it kind of compartmentalizes it better for you when you're doing it. So it's like you're in the podcast room, like you are podcasting, and you're locked in. You can knock them out. Like I can already see us turning out like some great content, just sitting down in our podcast mode. Like, but things like that with video, like we're in the studio, we're recording, like we get all our settings locked in for the camera, and we can just knock out some great quality content. And then I don't know, a higher clip than we have been currently. Like I'm really happy with what we have currently on the site, but like having those dedicated spaces, I think gets everybody else excited about creating new things too. Yeah.
Like right now, Maddie's working. She has to be quiet because we're all in the same damn room recording this podcast. She's like quietly typing and.
Well, yeah, and we're recording like audio for the motion graphics. We all like stop typing to make sure there's no clacking in the background.
I'm amazed on the site we currently have and and some of the podcasts and stuff we've gotten to where we are, and so it's cool that now we could take the next level, and hopefully that translates to more growth and more value for members. The last thing that I will say here is obviously this is scary, right? This is a big, scary jump. I'm very confident with this team. We're gonna do great. I'm very sure of it. If you are a listener and you have been hesitant on whether to be a member, or if you looked at it but you haven't done anything yet, could I just encourage you to, if you were going to take the leap, this would be such a good time.
Please, we're begging you.
This would be such a good time to give us a nice little buffer as we jump out. And I promise you, when you get in there, you're going to be happy with what you find. And if not, no worries. Cancel it. There's a 30-day trial. Everything's month to month. We do that specifically because we don't want anyone paying us that's not happy.
Yeah.
We've built what I wish I had. And I know I've said that on the podcast many times, but we built what I wish I had when I was, early on. And the last bit of encouragement on that piece is after phase 1 of the website launches, don't worry, anybody listening, we're going to make sure everybody knows. But the price of the Ranger membership, the first locked membership, is going to be going up from $100 to $150. If you're a member, don't worry, you're locked in. I mean, there's no way in hell we would penalize early adopters that got us here. So don't worry if you're listening and you're a current member. Nothing's ever going to change for you, literally ever. But anyone signing up after that price goes up, it is going to go up to $150. I think with how much content we have and the value on it, I think that's where we need to be now, especially because we lock up such a large area for a Ranger member. And one reason we're doing this, it's funny, I saw another company that was like, their content vault, and it was like, $8,000 value. And I was like, what? That's it? Mm-hmm. That's only $8,000 worth of content you have, and you're charging more than I am? Because I quantified how much we spent in the last year alone on content when you think about motion graphic videos.
When you break it all down.
It's over $100,000.
It's so much more than you expected. It's so much more than I expected until we were really in there, like creating these pieces.
And that's not time, that's not salary, that's not website. It's strictly creating the content. So when I started to look at that, I was like, I think this is where we need to be if we want to scale properly. And again, any early adopters to this, even if you sign up now, you're going to get locked in that current price. And then Scout Plus is going to stay $50. That's the non-locked membership. So even if you're locked out of Ranger and Leader, jump on that Scout Plus. We already have a lot of content on that. We have 2 full campaigns coming out: the Cybersecurity 2, Microsoft 365, and we're also working on a couple others on Scout Plus, as well as working for multiple campaigns.
Yeah,
on Ranger and Leader.
I was going to put a quick point on that too. With these Scout Plus campaigns, we are actually currently uploading them as we create pieces. So you can see the current progress of Microsoft 365, of the cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, we already have several infographics, direct mail pieces, things like that. So these are like work in progress campaigns that you can jump into at any time. Yeah, I just want to make a note of that because I think it's a
good call.
Distinction.
Yeah. So that pretty much sums up this one today. Thank you so much for being a listener,
supporting us.
Yeah. Like this whole thing's surreal. Like we get to be creative. We hear things from members. Like I heard somebody emailed me and she's like, your email campaigns are performing better than anything we've ever done in the past. And to hear something like that, real social proof from a member who's using the content that has helped us scale and it's helping them scale too, like that's a game changer. Mm-hmm. Like that is where it's like, awesome. That is exactly what I want to hear. One person said, hey, we didn't even have a Google My Business set up. We got it set up. We're getting multiple leads just from getting more reviews than everybody else because they listened to that advice. They implemented their Google My Business so they can be found local listing. It wasn't a highly competitive area. They got a ton of reviews, and now they're getting inbound leads without even starting on SEO yet.
This is your note to get more reviews.
Yeah,
as always.
Right? I mean, it's just gold. We had, someone said they listened to Location Pages podcast. They implemented the location pages on their website, and they're ranking, first, second page for a lot of cities that they were never ranking in before. That's going to guarantee they get more leads over time. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
If somebody's searching in that city and you're on the first, basically you have to be on the first page, they're going to look at your site. Your site looks good. If you listen to some of the website tips we've talked about, they're going to convert. And if not, and they leave, well, you have your remarketing ads to stay in front of them with interesting, exciting content, not the same bullshit content everyone else is using, right? Like, that's the value. That's the value of listening to the podcast. It's not just to hear us talk. It's to say, okay, what of this can I implement to get more money for my business? Because more money in a business makes life easier. So that's the purpose. That's the point. We hope that that's exactly what's happening with you too. And we hope you stay along with us on this epic journey we're about to embark on. Anything else on that, Stephen, before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like you said, scary, but you kind of got to take the leap to really fully commit to what we're doing. Yeah. So
I'm over here trying not to cry, but no.
Emotional episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. It's a big undertaking. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Thanks for listening as always.